What? Oh yeah, this is a huge one. What resources would you recommend to help others grow their business or to grow personally?
Man, there's just, oh gosh, man, you are just, these questions are just, I love it. Listen, I'm going to say something that a lot of guests say, which is in something I just kind of said is, first of all, other people are great resources. So utilize other people. And again, that's another, I'm just, by way of promoting what's happening this year, again, for me, another reason why I want to help people get their voices out, whether that's on Laundromat Resource or whatever, through publishing, through writing blog posts, through making videos, the podcast, whatever. Like I want to get people's voices out because I think other people who have done what other people are trying to do are great resources. So that's one, but I want to give a couple books too, because I read a lot of books. I've been reading like 50 or 60 a year. I tried to cut back last year. I ended up reading like 40. And I just end up reading a lot of books or listening to them as I'm driving around the LA freeway, sitting in traffic or whatever. So one that was huge for me, it was life-changing for me. It's called 4 Disciplines of Execution. And it's all about how to get things done, right? And for me, I'm not naturally like a doer. I've been a doer now because I've seen the value, but I'm like a learner and a researcher and an analyzer, and I'll do that forever. And I'll turn around and be like, man, I'm in the same place. And again, I'll feel like I know stuff, but I don't because I haven't done it. Right. And so 4 Disciplines of Execution is like how to really like do big things. And, I want to do big things with my life, and it takes operating in a certain way. So 4 Disciplines of Execution, highly recommend it. I would check it out if I were you. Another one I really love is called Principles by Ray Dalio. And Ray Dalio, he runs a huge investment fund. Like, I don't know. I don't even want to throw out a number, but it's like, I don't know, like $1 trillion or something. It's like huge. And he wrote this book called Principles, and it just has all these like incredible principles that he implemented in his business and his life. And it was just really impactful for me. And then the other one, again, kind of along the lines of doing, is Atomic Habits. And there's a lot of habit books that I really like. I read Atomic Habits most recently, probably out of all the habit books I've read. And seeing how you can accomplish things that you want to accomplish by putting the right habits in place and by removing the habits that are holding you back, I think was a perspective shift for me that I had never really thought about. And so now I try to be very intentional about what habits I have in my life. So
you really do feel like, actually, I never get to have these discussions, but like, people always ask me, or they assume that like I've read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or something like Dave Ramsey, which I never read Dave Ramsey, or I don't even know if he's a reader or a speech guy, but I feel like my lifestyle is exactly opposite of his. I love to go in debt. I love to leverage money.
Me too.
But people always assume that I read books, and like people even ask me like the books I've read. And like literally the only one I could say that even closely pertains to business, but doesn't, is I read The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. Mm-hmm. And that did really change. And like I said, I actually feel like that book's very old. And I feel like people have just probably stolen from it and put a twist on it. But I feel like that was probably the original. And I keep trying to tell myself that I'm going to sit down and like read these books that people assume I've already read, like this Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or what you just said. Like, do you really feel like you get a lot out of it? See, I feel like I'm more like, I just call people. Like, I mean, and we talked about that thing. Like, I called Ray Anderson, who owns 60 gas stations. Like, I was roommates with, the guys whose dad ran a chain of hotels. So I feel like I probably skipped the books because I got to ask, instead of reading what someone thought that I wanted to know, I got to ask the actual people what they did maybe. I don't know. I just feel like, am I missing the boat with these books?
Well, I mean, first of all, I say, hey, give it a shot. But I mean, I think that's huge. Like, again, going back to, if somebody's doing what you want to do, and you have access to them, like that's going to be your number one resource. I would say like go to that person, find out what they did, because if you do what they did, you're going to get results similar to what they got most likely. Right. So I think that's huge. And like, I think honestly, we talked about this during your episode, but I think that's one of your big, strongest assets, like your strongest character traits, or I don't know, whatever. But like, it's one of the things you do the best is you're a really good networker, and you find the people that, that can help you accomplish what you can accomplish. But for me, when I'm driving on the freeway, like I don't listen to music ever. And people,
I don't either. I just listen to plain dead car and think. But do you get audiobooks?
I get audiobooks and I get podcasts. Like, so right when you finish all the podcasts, go download a couple audiobooks. And there's an app I love.
Ever? Like, which one do you feel like changed Jordan Berry the most? And don't do a cliche one like Rich Dad Poor Dad. Like, what do you really believe?
It's changed me the most.
I'm gonna definitely the audiobook thing. I don't listen to radio. I literally just listen to blank. I've been listening to podcast. Like when I drove to Indiana, I think I called you and I said I listened to like a 10-hour drive. I listened to like 9 podcasts.
Yeah.
So I've actually been doing that, but now I'm almost out of them. So maybe that's exactly what I'll do. I'll get books. That's
what I do. And I sit on the freeway. For me, I think Rich Dad Poor Dad did shift my thinking the most initially, because it just opened. Yeah.
They've assumed I've read it. I've never read it.
It opened. I mean, it's short. It's a short listen. I think you probably find it for free. In fact, there's an app you should download. It's called Libby, and Libby, Libby.
Attachments, or do I need to write this down right now? I'm going to attach it to the.
Yeah, put it in the show notes. But you basically connect your library card with it, and you can download audiobooks for free from your library. And I listened to all the nonfiction. Like I cleaned out all the nonfiction books in my whole library. It took me like 2 years or something, and I listened to every single one of them, and some of them multiple times. And I guess for those of you guys out there who have, who are realtor, the National Association of Realtors, I guess, has their own library that you can connect on Libby too. And they have a ton of nonfiction books there. But I would say for me, besides Rich Dad Poor Dad, I think probably the 4 disciplines of execution was really the one that really shifted my thinking. I don't know that it would for you necessarily, because you're like a get it done guy, man. You're like a go do it.
I've got 2 things on my plate right now. Matter of fact, I'm actually I'm still going to do the storage units, but since I got lots of balls in the air and whatever it hits, right? So I was going to do the storage units, but then this new laundromat thing came up. So now, I would say that's what I do. I just put a lot of balls in the air.
Yeah.
And whatever one drops first, I just go jump on.
Yeah, me too. I mean, that's what I've been doing lately. And people are always like, "You're doing too much," and it's probably true. So, but
the storage unit thing. Like even my wife, she's like, "So you're not going to do it?" And I said, "I never said I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it right now."
Yeah.
Like I mean, we own the land, we have the dirt, everything stays the same. I just choose to not build it right now because it's going to be a learning curve, right? I've never done it, so there's going to be mistakes and problems and issues, and it's going to be tough. But like I said, I 100% am going to do it. I just don't know when. It was going to be next, and now it's second, but something else might come in and push it to third, right?
Yeah. You're flexible. I mean, that's huge. When opportunities come, you jump on them. I love it. So audiobooks though, man, I'm a huge proponent of audiobooks.
No, I actually, when I write the thing of what I got the most out of, and I don't know if you're going to have me record that, but that is going to be it. I don't know. That's such an obvious thing. I don't listen to anything in my car, just silence. Like I still do need that because like I process stuff, right? Like,
yeah,
I go home, I got 4 kids and a wife. I go to the laundromats, I got, 32 employees, 34 employees. Like my phone again, like I know you can see this, it's just like, I have the ringer off though, and obviously now, but this thing's just blowing up.
Yeah, mine too.
So when I get in the car, like it's like I got like a half hour to drive home and I'm like, let's download what's going on, right?
Yeah. And you need that. I think that's huge. And I think that's something that I didn't really appreciate until, maybe the last year or two. You need that silent time. And I find that like when I give myself that space, that silence, that's where I get like my best ideas. That's where I get my best thoughts, because I'm going like 1,000 miles an hour from one thing to the next thing to the next thing all the time. And then when I get that silent time, my brain's like, okay, let's sift through this a little bit. And I get like, I mean, genius. You'd be blown away. No, I'm just kidding. But like, I get my best ideas.
Well, and I'll even say this. So like when I was driving to Indiana, like what I did is I put the earbuds in and I was listening to podcasts because they listen, we have a Denali, it's got screens. So they're listening to their Disney movies and stuff. And I usually just drown that out and I do my thinking because like I can just drown it out. I'm not interested in the Disney stuff going on. But like I said, I really appreciate you saying that. I'm going to get audiobooks. I mean, I can just throw the ear pods in. They can be listening to their Paw Patrol and I'm rolling down the road with. And the nice thing with the earbuds, you can either let sound in or let them out. So I can let the sound in so I can be aware of what's going on. But
yep.
I'm going to do. I want to start doing audiobooks. I just, nice. And like I said, I don't know that it's not, I'm not against reading. It's just, when would I read?
Yeah, totally. Well, and that's where I think audiobooks come in, when I'm driving or when I'm, like I've been working on the house, I'll have an audiobook going while I'm,
Sometimes it's just the obvious. This is so obvious. I could have been doing audiobooks while I was listening to your podcast.
Wow, but way more valuable than audiobooks.
The next laundromat, I can't, unless you make it like 20 more by the time I get this little laundromat going.